What is happening, guys? Welcome back to a video. Today on the channel we are talking about building confidence, whether that be in relationships, in life, or just in general, because many people lack it and they need it and they do not know how to build it. So that's what we're going through on the radio and on today's video. So if you're new, do not forget to subscribe and go check out the latest videos. Always trying to help you grow, help you lose weight, and help you do better. So let's get into it. All about building confidence. I feel like many people lack confidence in their lives, whether that be through relationships, socially, work. And I know we've spoke about it a lot on the show, and I just want to break it down into like three categories. The first is normally lacking confidence. And people are like, well, you could lack confidence socially talking to people, building a relationship with anyone, in your work, in school. And usually it's due to two things. One, fear of the unknown, because you don't know the outcome of what's going to happen. And two, your past experience. Usually, when it comes to, say, educational purposes like work or school, usually it's from past experiences. You failed something and you're like, you don't think you're good enough, and it's become an insecurity and you're not sure on how to go about it. Whereas when you are picking, say, subjects for a university, when you're going to university, when you're starting your job, that's normally due to fear of the unknown. This happens quite a lot. A lot of people have social anxieties when they go to any social gatherings, trying to approach people for the first time, creating conversations. Why? Because they have fear of what's going to happen, because they don't know what's going to happen. These are important to know, because if you don't know why you're feeling like this, you don't know how to solve the issue. For whatever reason, we all overthink. We all go through hard times and we're all like overthinking every situation that happens. I know you understand this very much. You're an overthinker in good and bad ways. What I want you to think about is, why do you lack confidence in a social situation or in a working situation, whatever it may be? Is it because of what happened to you in the past and you're insecure about the trauma, or insecure about what did happen and it's built inside of you? Or do you fear the unknown? Because both is probably fear. If you've been rejected before, or if someone laughed at you before, or someone made you feel negatively in any way, if you didn't learn from that situation on how to approach it, that's probably going to be a past experience holding you back. But the fear of the unknown, this is actually one of the best ways to allow you to build confidence in something. Because when you don't know what's going to happen, this is the best places to grow in anything. Like in your work, how many times have you done something where you didn't know what you were doing? You were put in a hard situation, and then afterwards you're like, oh, this is easy. You know, like your example on the radio, when you first come in and see all the buttons that we're looking at now, you're like, this is a lot. There's 5 screens here, my laptop, the mic, like it looks like a lot. And now you don't even think twice. Yeah. So it's the fear of the unknown and being overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. So you need to ask yourself, why do you lack this confidence in the first place, to understand on how to start building it afterwards. So that's what you need to understand first. Ask yourself, why are you lacking it? And then you can start building.
So it is your boy Triple A and Liam, and we are talking about confidence.
Yeah, so obviously we just went through lack of confidence and understanding why you lack it, mm-hmm. to know how to build it. Mm-hmm. And usually...
But the thing is, a lack of confidence, I feel like that just doesn't come from fear. I think it also comes from the way you were brought up. So the environment that's around you also affects your confidence.
This could be due to insecurities.
Also like your exposure to the world. If you grew up in like a little bubble, and then like after, let's say for example, high school, you go to college and you go from this little bubble to like this huge campus, that could also play with your confidence because you're in an environment where you're not used to. Okay, so what is that fear of? The unknown. The unknown, yeah, basically. So like, don't get me wrong, I said those two things. Past experience or the unknown. That's the main things. Mm-hmm. And like, usually, let's say you're brought up in a certain way, mm-hmm. and you know your upbringing is different to mine. It's usually come down to lack of the unknown. Mm-hmm. So like, me coming to Saudi Arabia is going to be scary for the first time because I have no clue about the culture. And back home after going to the United States is not going to be scary, you know? So it's going to be different for everyone, and what you fear in terms of like confidence, or what you lack in confidence, can be different to me. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be different for everyone. Mm-hmm. And I said to build it, it's either going to come from two things: knowledge or experience. Mm-hmm.
So you normally lack one of those two things.
Mm.
And normally from fear of the unknown is due to experience.
Mm.
Because the more experience you have in something, you should be able to build more confidence.
Mhm.
Whereas past experience, trauma, from whatever you've been through, is normally due to lack of knowledge and learning from that experience.
Mhm.
So let's say you've gone from a really hard upbringing. You know, everyone has hard things in life, but let's say you've gone from a really hard upbringing for whatever it may be. You know, you could say family, you could say school, whatever.
Mhm.
And you are holding on to that insecurity in your life, and you fear now relationships and trusting people again because you had such a hard upbringing. But this is because of your lack of knowledge, of understanding people a bit more, because you had such a hard past. So your past experiences are holding you back from learning new experiences to allow you to build more confidence.
But for some people, growing up in a very strict environment can actually give them more strength or more power to be more confident.
Oh no, of course. Like, I'm not saying like strict households. I mean,
Yeah.
say like people go through really hard things in life. So I don't want to give examples on the air because it's very,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to give really horrible situations, but I'm not saying strict or even conservative is going to do this. I'm saying some experience is going to be different from everyone else. So, for example, even me and my brother had the exact same upbringing, but we lack confidence in different things because everyone's different. And the way they deal with situations is different. So you need to understand, is your lack of confidence because of your past experience and you not being able to learn from it to then go forward? Because that way you need to learn to have knowledge. Or is it because of your fear of the unknown because you haven't experienced anything before? So the key is here, you need to experience things to then learn from those experiences, then gain knowledge. And this is an example I want to give. Let's say you have social anxiety. You're someone that could be with the opposite sex or the same sex, whoever, but you don't know how to approach people. You're very nervous because of in the past you tried it before. What did you actually do in the past? You need to analyze this. What did you do when you approached people and you felt rejected?
Like self-reflect.
Exactly. Self-reflect the situation. Like if you fail an exam, you need to self-reflect on why you failed. Same reason in social situations. First of all, you need to get the experience. Go out there and socialize. Then be like, okay, if it didn't go to plan on how I wanted, how can I change that? So don't just be like, oh, I want to have one conversation with someone and now we're going to be best friends. Not really how it works.
That's a bit psychotic.
Yeah, but like when you don't have expectations, you don't know what's going to happen. And then you're like, oh, maybe they didn't like me. But they did like you, they just don't know you well enough. So now, everything.
I feel like that's more like high school problems, no?
Well, like people have it all the time. So
I feel like in our age, if you hang out with a person one time, you don't leave thinking like you guys are gonna be best friends for life.
No, but like no, not like that. But I mean, like you could have, you know, relationships in other ways where you're like, do they like me as much as I like them? Are they into me as much as I like them? Like you overthink these things.
Yeah.
So and that happens. So now it's like what
I hate when I get those feelings.
I think everyone does, but it's from my experience, it's like understanding people a lot more and learning from your experience. And I feel like for me, I've socialized a lot with many different people, luckily, very diverse, and it allowed me to understand that what people like, what they don't like, and how to get more out of people than, what's the word I'm looking for? Instead of like just thinking that that's it. It's like it's done. In my head, it feels good. Like I've built on a conversation where I'm making them more interested, and then I know how to add that next time. And this is something you need to learn. If you want to build a connection with anyone, remember the little things. And it's not about remembering their name. It's remembering, okay, what conversation did you have? What information did they give you? And remembering it next time. So, for example, when I went live with that guy on TikTok and we were talking, he was like, oh, wow, you remembered a lot. And I know for a fact he appreciated that a lot more because I remembered absolutely every little detail. I don't even know the name of the play that he's in. I have no clue. But I know he had 2 kids. I knew that his wife was working for Netflix. I know that he's now away from the
she's
kids.
Like a makeup artist, right?
I don't know. I didn't remember that. But I
remember that because he mentioned my favorite show.
So, but the thing is, I remember the details to the point of which family is important to him. So I remember the things that were important to him. And it's understanding in these conversations, if you want to build relationships up, it's have a conversation, find out what you think people find important, and remember those details. Because if someone's passionate about when they speak about something, remembering those things are more important than remembering what shoes they had on that day. You know, whether you liked them or not, no one cares. But those details are going to allow you to build more relationships up. And it's learning from that, okay? That's going to help you out. I know we went a bit off topic, but...
Going back to topic.
Yeah.
So about a part of adulting, right, is to communicate, right? And to being honest with the other person. And you've mentioned earlier that, you know, every now and then we have these insecurities when we meet new people. Do they like me or do I like them? Is it reciprocated and stuff? And we both have agreed that we hate these feelings. Yet when it reaches a point where when you want to communicate those feelings with that person, they tend to think that you're either overthinking or you're just weird. Isn't that contradicting?
Yes, because it's like, say, no one wants to have the conversation on how do you feel? Because no one likes talking about their feelings with people they don't know as well. So no matter how...
Well, not personal feelings, but just like general, like superficial emotions.
Exactly. People don't like talking about their emotions. Because people don't like to open up their emotions to people that they don't know as well. And even when they do, let's say I feel like we're close enough, right? That I wouldn't come up to you and be like, oh man, you seem super down. And if you don't want to talk about it, I'm not going to be like, you know, try and open you up even more, you know? You're going to feel worse. And you're going to be like, bro, just chill out. I don't want to talk about it, right? And you get those hints because people don't want to talk about it. And it's the same thing in this situation. When people don't want to talk about it, they're going to hint about it. But you trying to push that makes them feel defensive because they clearly don't want to have that conversation because people don't like having those deep conversations. So remember that when you're trying to build relationships and if you fear confidence in relationship situations, first of all, experience, then be like, how can I learn from these experiences to allow me to grow and build more relationships in the future better and quicker? And many of you may have tried to do something to build confidence in relationships, work, school, but there's one issue why you didn't actually build confidence, which is step 3. Why doesn't building confidence work? Because you didn't learn from your mistake in the previous experience. What people don't understand is like, let's say socially is the best example I can give. You know, they've tried to approach people, talk to them in different ways, but it's not actually different. They try the same thing over and over and over again when they approach people and they wonder why it doesn't work. Obviously, if it didn't work the first 5 to 10 times, the way you want to speak to people, it's not going to work again because you need to learn, why does someone not want to speak to me? It's like sales. You need ratios to make sure you know your sales technique is working. It's the exact same thing when it comes to building confidence in something. Let's say, go using that relationship example. If you're trying to build relationships with friends or any relationship, you know, relationship with the opposite sex, whoever, you need to learn how to approach. You need to learn how to speak to people. And if you feel like people don't want to speak to you, I'll be honest with you, that is because it's you. As harsh as that may sound, but being like, they don't know who you are. They don't know what you're like. They don't know that you're interested. They don't know your fun hobbies. It doesn't mean go up to them and be like, hi, my name is Liam Stump. I like to go to the gym. I'm on the radio. I like TikTok. I like to make videos. What's your name? Now I sound like a weirdo. Yeah. Or it's not like going up to someone and being like, Snapchat. That's not good either, you know? Go up to someone and be like, actually ask a question which is so random that they can't actually reject you. You're just a random person asking some basic information, directions, or it could be opinions about restaurants or something that is close by. Leave. And then you're going to learn from that situation next time and be like, okay, this person responded in this way. Was it a good interaction, bad interaction? How are my mannerisms? How did I stand? How did I talk? What was it like? And you need to learn from that. And it's the exact same with school. Like if you fail an exam and you don't study for the next exam and you're like, well, why didn't I fail? Why did I fail again? Well, obviously you didn't study again. So it's the same thing. It's the exact same, right? Like you can't be like, oh, why is this not working? It's the same thing in social environments, right? You get rejected after rejected. You fail an exam, you keep doing bad at work constantly. but are you working hard enough? Are you trying to be like, where are my mistakes? Are you trying to be like, how can I learn from this and how can I get better? Because if you're not doing that, guess what? You're never going to be able to actually build confidence in the situation you're trying to build confidence in. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Do not forget to subscribe. It's about building confidence. Remember, why do you lack confidence? How to build confidence, and then realize how to actually build confidence and learn from your mistakes rather than think, oh, I'm just going to experience more things and still failing. Learn from your failures and grow. Guys, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Peace.